don't think the lever's working.
What makes you say that?
There's gotta be something else we can try.
Well, if this was Star Trek, we could use a phaser to blast it off.
It's too broad of a beam. You need something more precise, like Superman's heat vision.
Ooh, the Green Lantern's ring can make a big green hand that unscrews it.
If you need a green hand, why not just use the Hulk?
Oh, please. The Hulk would never get across the border with that temper.
Guys, excuse me. Not that calling one of the Avengers isn't a perfectly reasonable choice, but we're scientists. Don't you think we can figure this out using actual science?
Yes, we could use science, but it's your bachelor party. Lighten up.
We will percussive shock you.
We will percussive shock you.
Buddy, you're a boy, make a big noise, playing in the street. Gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your face, you big disgrace, kicking your can all over the place.
I have an eidetic memory. Sometimes it's a curse.
I had no idea tortilla chips are such a good fuel source.
They're basically pure hydrocarbons soaked in fat. Let's hope the lug nut expands.
What if that burning food attracts animals?
We have plenty of food for the animals.
We do?
Yep. 6-foot wiener in a Flash t-shirt.
That's not very nice.
It's a bachelor party. Lighten up.
Oh, what is that awful smell?
It's burning salsa. I'm hoping the acidity and salinity combined with electricity will corrode the lug nut off.
What an innovative solution. Now, perhaps I don't give your MIT education enough credit.
Yeah, I saw it on Mythbusters.
All right. This rust, combined with the aluminum recovered from the van, is now thermite.
Right. Couple pinches ought to do the trick.
Is that enough to melt the lug nut?
Well, let's start small. We can always add more.
You put up a good fight, lug nut. But you've met your match.
Hey, look, the lug nut's off.
Alright, so on this episode of The Big Bang Theory, the guys go on a bachelor trip, and along the way they get a flat tire. So when they're trying to change out the flat tire, they realize that one of the lug nuts is stuck, so they use 4 different scientific principles to try to get that stuck lug nut off. So the first scientific principle that they use is the percussive shock principle. So they try to repeatedly hit the lug nut to try to get it to pop off. The second scientific principle that the guys use is thermal expansion. So they light a nacho chip on fire and place it against the lug nut to try to get it to heat up and expand and then it fall off. So the third scientific principle that the guys use to try to get the stuck lug nut off the car is accelerated corrosion. So they use the electricity from the car along with the salsa that they have to try to get the acidity from the salsa to try to burn the lug nut off of the car. Alright, the last scientific principle that the guys use to try to get the lug nut off the car is the exothermic reaction. So they take a little bit of rust from the car and aluminum from the car to try to make thermite. And so they use a couple pinches of that and then they light it on fire to try to get it to melt off of the to melt the lug nut off of the car, and it just ends up setting it on fire.
So basically the thermite used to cause the exothermic reaction that was used to try and loosen up the lug nut off of the tire would catch on fire. The van itself wouldn't catch on fire, but it would appear that the van was on fire because the thermite would be burning on top of the van, which would also eat through the metal on the van.
The irreversible thermite reaction begins. Within seconds, the fiery concoction eats through the bonnet, spraying molten thermite into the engine beneath. The devastation continues inside until finally a torrent of white-hot liquid metal